This is Joey Adams, and I'm here at the National Museum. And look up there, that is Abigail Adams. Today we'll be speaking about the life of Abigail Adams. Typically, at this part of the video, I would say the date that the person was born. However, with Miss Adams, this is easier said than done. When Miss Adams was born, many British subjects of America used the Julian calendar. The Julian calendar was around 11 minutes out of sync. Now, that doesn't seem like it's big. However, over the years, it becomes a huge issue. And so the Julian calendar was around 10 days off of the calendar that everyone else used. So in 1582, Pope Gregory the 13th introduced a new calendar, the Gregorian calendar. It skipped over 10 days in October. However, some places were slower to pick up this new calendar. Thus, sometimes we have differing dates for the same event. So let me start off by saying Abigail Adams, or Abigail Smith, was born on November 11, 1744, or November 22nd, 1744, depending on who's counting. One of the things that many people first think about when they think about Abigail Adams is that she was the second First Lady because she was married to John Adams, and thus she gave birth to John Quincy Adams. However, I will not spend much time on these two things because she was an amazing lady. She was a Renaissance woman, and she doesn't get nearly the praise that she deserves. She stood up to people, and she stood up for people. In many ways, Abigail Adams was ahead of her time. She was someone who was fighting for women's rights at the same time America was fighting for independence. A sample of this could be seen in her March 31st, 1776 letter to John Adams. In this letter, Abigail Adams basically says, don't forget the women when you are trying to get your revolution, because men will be tyrants if given the chance. And if that happens, you will have another revolution on your hand, because women will not be bound by laws that they have no say in. Abigail Adams was also very anti-slavery. She even brought up the fact that it was so hypocritical for people to be yelling about freedom while they had slaves. Beyond that, she was also someone for integration. Many times those two things didn't go together. People could be anti-slavery, but at the same time didn't want to be around people of other races. Abigail Adams, in fact, enrolled an African American into a school, and when people complained about it, she stood up for him, saying, how in the world could he learn without this? And that he was a free man like everyone else. And sometimes Abigail made political inroads when John wanted. One of these would be her correspondence with Thomas Jefferson. Why was this such a big thing? You just have to find out next week when I discuss Thomas Jefferson, the American leader.